talk to you now about how to be a coach. Number one, I coach momentum. Folks, the difference in the great coaches and the average and ordinary coaches is the ability to get momentum and to keep momentum. Think about this, folks. A.L. Williams, for 20 consecutive years, grew. Now, during those 20 consecutive years, we changed companies 5 times. I had to terminate the number one producer in our company on 2 different occasions, and it was almost impossible to get terminated, from A.L. Williams. We had wars with the regulators. We were kicked out of Mississippi for 2 weeks. Canada passed a rule where there was no part-time recruits. Texas limited the number of recruits so we could 350 a year. And with all of that, A.L. Williams grew for 20 straight years. Now, how do you grow? This is the difference in a real pro, and an average and ordinary coach. There are 3 things you do now to guarantee you keep momentum when you get it going. Number one, you grow by multiplication. You grow by multiplication. You've got to always be promoting people to district leader, to division leader, to RVP. Okay? Because once you get things growing by multiplication, then what you have hundreds or thousands of people that are doing what you are trying to do, okay? Building friends, praising and recognizing people, recruiting best friends. Does that make sense? And see, once you're growing by multiplication, that's the greatest opportunity for you to keep that momentum that you've kept. Okay? That makes sense? All right, number 2, the second thing in keeping this momentum, once you have it, is you've got to have an enemy. You've got to have some kind of injustice out there you're trying to create. You've got to have an edge. I don't care if you're in the real estate business, right? If somebody's charging let's say a 10% commission on just raw land that you sell out there, then you do it for 8.5% or something, right? You've got to have an edge over the enemy. You've got to have an enemy you're trying to beat out there, right? Now, we were fortunate to have the worst enemy in the whole history of the world, right? The trash value guys, right? But you're selling a crusade. There's nothing that energizes people and keep that momentum going like a crusade, right? You're out there trying to save the world. You're trying to make a difference with your life, right? And then the third thing is you have competition inside the company. I was a master at promoting competition inside the company, right? Like Lawrence Walker, I'd get him taking on Dick Walker, down in Tampa, Florida. I had a gift of always egging people along a little bit, okay? So if you want to keep momentum, once you get it, there are 3 keys. You grow by multiplication. You keep recruiting. Listen to this, folks. For 20 years, as president of A.L. Williams, the first thing I looked for every day on my desk, Kathy Herring, my secretary, the first thing I did when I went in the office before I talked to Bo or anybody and got in my million things I needed to do, okay? The first thing I did every morning was look at recruiting numbers. First thing I did every morning. The second thing I did was sign 200 go-go letters. That's the first thing I did and got that out of the way first thing every morning, right? And so you've got to have a way, I'm going to talk to you about that in a morning, to monitoring this kind of stuff so when you can anticipate when you are slowing down, right? When you're fixing to hit a brick wall down the road, correct? So if you're growing by multiplication, if you've got people out there recruiting best friends, you're picking up policies of best friends, making presentations to best friends, building friends with their recruits, praising, recognizing people, promoting district managers, promoting division managers, promoting RVPs. And you've got people, and you're teaching people how to do all these same kind of things to build these powerful relationships, right? Then you're guaranteed that you're going to keep that momentum going. If you have an enemy, you've got to have an enemy. You've got to have something you can get people riled up about. And then the third thing is you create competition inside your own organization or inside the company, right?